Can you be deported if you lose your green card? This is a question I've been receiving more frequently, and I imagine it's because of all of the fear mongering created by the Trump administration. So let's just do a quick recap of what a green card actually means. A green card is the colloquial term for a permanent resident card. And this is a card that actually currently happens to be green, even though historically it was all different colors. Right now, they've returned back to the green motif. And it basically gives you the right to permanently live in the US, permanently work in the US, and to travel in and out of the US. There are some restrictions on that last one, but generally speaking, this is what a green card allows you to do, and this is why it is highly sought after. It is also a pathway to US citizenship, so generally speaking, you need to have permanent residence or a green card for 5 years in most situations before you become eligible to apply for naturalization, US citizenship. And there are tons of requirements, and one of the requirements before I get all these comments saying like, we shouldn't let immigrants become US citizens, they're foreigners. One of the requirements is that they speak English. So before all of the MAGA Republicans blow up my comment feed with hateful comments, just know these people speak English, so chill out. So the question, can I be deported if I lose my green card, fundamentally misunderstands what permanent residence is. The residence is not your card. Your status is not the card. I had someone recently who lost their green card 10 years ago, and they've been afraid for 10 years to renew their green card because they thought that they're unlawfully present in the US. They thought that once they lost the green card and they didn't immediately renew it or report it, they were illegally in the United States. And for 10 years, they've lived in fear. And recently they came to me to consult with me about how they could protect themselves from getting deported under the Trump administration. And they were surprised to find out that they are still a permanent resident. It doesn't matter that they didn't renew the card. It doesn't matter that they lost the card. The card is not your status. You are a permanent resident even if you lose the card, even if you don't renew the card, even if the card expires. You are still a permanent resident until one of two things happens. One, an immigration judge orders you removed from the United States, or two, you voluntarily sign Form I-407 to voluntarily abandon your permanent residence. Until one of these two things happen, your status is still technically permanent resident. So, to summarize, no, you cannot get deported just because you lose your green card if you are still a permanent resident. Now, there is a civil penalty. I think it's like $50 if you don't have the physical green card on you. Like all things immigration, it's not criminal. And I've never actually seen this civil penalty enforced. In fact, once my clients get a green card, I usually just tell them like, save a copy of it, keep the copy on you, don't keep the original, because if you lose it, it's gonna cost us like $500 minimum government filing fee to replace it. And it could take up to a year for the new green card to arrive. And this is not really enforced. Legally, you have to keep the card on you, but if you don't, the consequences are very minimal, and the consequences of losing and having to replace the card are pretty dramatic, especially if you're gonna need to like travel or get a new job during that time. It could really complicate your ability to prove that you're a permanent resident. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you are going through any immigration problems or have any questions, or you want to consult with an attorney, create a plan, have some questions answered, please schedule a consultation directly with me. You could find my information in the video description below. If you're interested in family-based immigration, naturalization, or you want to learn more about deportation defense or Trump's changes to immigration policies, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time for another video.